Can you feel it? That gnawing frustration, that sense of déjà vu as the Chicago Bulls once again find themselves entangled in a web of their own making? It's a feeling all too familiar for Bulls fans, a recurring nightmare where promising talent turns into contractual quicksand. But seriously, how on earth did the Bulls, a franchise that just committed 5 years and a staggering $90 million to Patrick Williams, suddenly find him on the trade block, seemingly desperate to offload him before his new deal even truly kicks in? It's not just baffling, it's a testament to a front office that seems perpetually stuck in a cycle of questionable decisions, leaving us all to wonder, what in the world is going on in the Windy City? Welcome back, faithful. I'm your host, and today we're peeling back the layers of a situation that perfectly encapsulates the chaotic, often self-destructive dance of NBA team building. The Chicago Bulls, a team that has long promised a bright future, a return to glory, now finds itself in a peculiar, almost comical predicament. Patrick Williams, once heralded as the cornerstone of their future, the defensive stopper and versatile forward they desperately needed, is now reportedly available for trade. But this isn't just another trade rumor. It's a high-stakes poker game where the Bulls are holding a hand they seemingly regret, and the biggest chip on the table is a contract they themselves just signed. This isn't just about X's and O's. It's about the brutal business of the NBA, the ever-shifting priorities of a front office, and the immense pressure to escape a financial commitment that now feels like an anchor rather than an asset. For years, the narrative around Patrick Williams in Chicago was one of patience, potential, and unwavering belief. Drafted 4th overall in 2020, he was seen as a raw but incredibly gifted prospect, a player whose defensive versatility and quiet offensive flashes promised a future as a two-way force. The Bulls invested heavily in that promise, culminating in a 5-year, $90 million contract extension signed just last year, a deal that was supposed to solidify his place as a long-term fixture in the franchise. It was a statement of faith, a commitment to a player they believed would grow into the star they envisioned. But fast forward to today, and that commitment has seemingly evaporated. The whispers have grown louder, and now, it's more than just whispers. Patrick Williams is firmly on the trade block. This isn't a subtle exploration of options. It's a clear signal that the Bulls' front office has shifted its focus, and Williams, despite his recent extension, no longer fits neatly into their evolving vision. The question isn't if they want to move him, but how they can possibly do it without incurring further damage. The primary reason for this dramatic shift lies in the Bulls' renewed emphasis on developing their younger wings. Suddenly, the spotlight has swung to a new crop of talent. Buzelis, the highly touted G League Ignite prospect who brings a tantalizing blend of size, skill, and offensive creativity. Then there's Noah Essing, another intriguing international prospect whose athleticism and defensive upside have caught the eye of the front office. And let's not forget the recent addition of Isaac Okoro, a proven defensive stopper whose immediate impact could fill a crucial void. All three of these players are projected to carve out significant minutes this year, signaling a clear pivot towards a more youthful, athletic, and perhaps more malleable core. This influx of new talent fundamentally alters Patrick Williams' position within the team. Where he once represented the future, he now appears to be a redundancy. His role, once seemingly indispensable, has become far more expendable than in past seasons. The Bulls-Patrick Williams pairing, which once promised long-term upside and defensive anchor, now seems to be a glaring mismatch in priorities. The team wants to develop young players, and Williams, despite being only 23 years old, is now viewed through the lens of a player whose development hasn't quite aligned with his hefty price tag. And here, my friends, is the colossal, undeniable catch: that 5-year, $90 million extension. This isn't some expiring contract or a small, easily digestible deal. This is a significant financial commitment for a player who, while showing flashes of brilliance, has yet to consistently live up to the expectations of a top 5 pick or $18 million a year player. His career averages of around 9 points and 4 rebounds, while respectable, don't scream max extension to potential trade partners. For interested teams, the sheer size of that contract presents a monumental obstacle. It's not just about acquiring Patrick Williams. It's about absorbing a substantial long-term salary for a player who is still largely unproven as a consistent offensive threat. This situation creates an agonizing dilemma for the Bulls. On one hand, they could try to capitalize on Williams' perceived upside. He's still young, still possesses elite defensive tools, and has shown glimpses of a developing offensive game. There's a narrative to be spun that he's a diamond in the rough, just waiting for the right system to unlock his full potential. Trading him now, while he still has that potential label attached, might yield a better return than waiting for his value to potentially diminish further. But on the other hand, the Bulls risk being forced into a lopsided deal simply to shed his contract. Imagine the scenario. A team demands additional assets, draft picks, promising young players just to take on Williams' salary. This is a scenario the front office would undoubtedly prefer to avoid. They don't want to compound one questionable decision, the extension, with another, giving up future assets just to get rid of it. It's a tightrope walk, a delicate balance between cutting their losses and not digging themselves into an even deeper hole. The pressure to get this right, to extract some value, is immense. So, who might be interested in taking on this challenge? Several contenders may be eyeing defensive depth on the wing, especially teams looking for a versatile defender who can guard multiple positions and contribute without needing the ball constantly. A team on the cusp of a championship, perhaps one with a clear offensive pecking order, might see Williams as a valuable role player who can excel in a more defined, less pressure-filled environment. The market for Williams could heat up closer to the trade deadline, especially if he shows flashes of his early promise in the initial months of the season. If he can demonstrate improved consistency, particularly on the offensive end, or if a team suffers a key injury, his stock could rise. But until then, the Bulls are in a holding pattern, hoping for the right suitor to emerge. For now, Patrick Williams remains a member of the Bulls roster, but the writing on the wall is clearer than a Chicago winter sky. The NBA off-season moves, the drafting of new wing talent, and the persistent trade rumors all signal a desire to reshape the Bulls' identity. Patrick Williams, despite the massive investment, may not be part of that long-term vision. The only question that remains is whether Chicago can find a trade partner willing to take on both the player and the hefty price tag without demanding an exorbitant ransom in return. This isn't just about moving a player. It's about the Bulls trying to correct a mistake, to find a path forward that doesn't involve being shackled by a contract that no longer aligns with their strategic direction. This situation isn't just a footnote in the Bulls' offseason, it's a defining moment. It will reveal whether this front office can learn from its past decisions, whether it can navigate a complex financial landscape, and whether it can finally pivot towards a coherent winning strategy. Can they extract value from a player they just paid a fortune? Or will this become yet another example of the Bulls getting caught between a rock and a hard place? The answer will undoubtedly shape the future of this franchise for years to come. So, what are your thoughts on this perplexing situation, Faithful? Do you believe the Bulls are making the right move by trying to trade Patrick Williams despite the contract? Or do you think they should be more patient, allowing him to develop further within their new system? And if they do trade him, what kind of return should they be demanding? Your insights, your passion, and your unwavering support are what make this community truly special. So don't hold back. Drop your thoughts, predictions, and reactions in the comment section below. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you want to stay on top of every single twist and turn of the NBA landscape, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're here every day, bringing you the most dynamic and engaging coverage of the league we all love. Until next time, stay tuned, and let's hope the Bulls finally find their way out of this contractual maze.